Morning. For loose or missing parts when pulled behind rod sheet not pulled of 1 inch and 1 inch. I just put slack edges, slack edges, slack edges, slack edges, push up, slack edges, push up. Look for the loose or missing part. Look, look for loose or missing part. Slack edges, push up. Look for loose or missing part. Look for loose or missing part. Don't pull, don't pull behind rod. Should not pull more out. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more than 1 inch. Selection is crucial. Look for loose or missing part. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more than 1 inch. Selection is crucial. When pull, look. Selection is crucial. Look for loose or missing part. Look for loose or missing parts. Selection is crucial. Look for loose or missing part. Loose or missing part. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more than 1 inch. Selection is crucial. Look for loose or missing part. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more than 1 inch. Selection is crucial. Look for loose or missing part. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more 1 inch. Selection is crucial. Look for loose or missing part. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more than 1 inch. Slack edges push rod. Slack edges push rod. Look for loose or missing part. When pull behind rod. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more than 1 inch. Slack edges push rod. Look for loose or missing part. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more than 1 inch. Slack edges push rod. Look for loose or missing part. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more than 1 inch. Slack edges push rod. Look for loose or missing part. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more than 1 inch. Slack edges push rod. Look for loose or missing part. When pull behind rod, should not behind rod. Rod should not pull out more than 1 inch. Slack edges push rod. Slack edges push rod. Look for loose or missing part. When pull behind rod. When pull behind rod, should not pull. When pull. When pull behind rod, should not pull out more 1 inch. Slack is used to drop the loose on this environment. When pulled, when pulled, when pulled behind rod should not pull out about 1 inch. Um, out more than 1 inch. Slack is used to drop look for loose on this environment. When pulled behind rod should not pull out more than 1 inch. Slack is used to drop. Slack is used to drop. Slack is used to adjust to drop. Slack adjust to drop. Slack adjust to drop. Reproduction part. One pull behind rod. One pull behind rod. Should not pull. Should not pull out 1 inch. Breaking right lining. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. The lining cannot be cracked, no grease, oil, or debris. Breakthrough break lining. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. The lining cannot be cracked, no grease, oil, or debris. Breakthrough break lining. Breakthrough break lining. 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 Breakthrough break lining. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Drum and lining cannot be cracked, no grease, oil, or debris. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Drum and lining cannot be cracked, no grease, oil, or debris. Slack edges put missing part. One hole behind rod should not pull should not pull out more than 1 inch. Breakthrough break lining. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Breakthrough break lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Breakthrough break lining. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Thick. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Breakthrough break lining. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Breakthrough break lining. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Drum and lining cannot be cracked, no grease, oil, or debris. Breakthrough break lining. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Breakthrough break 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 breakthrough break lining. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Breakthrough break lining. Lining must be 1/4 inch thick. Drum and lining cannot be cracked. Drum and lining cannot be cracked. No grease, oil, or debris. Es la que sus burro, es la que se burro, look for losing missing part, look for losing missing part, news, one pool behind rod, cheap now, pool, cheap now, ese Carlillos,
Nos vamos.
¿algún cajito de la camarota?
¿Y la viejita?
No, no ha venido.
Yo pensé que estabas con la viejita. No quería interrumpirte.
No, que ni venga la cabrona. Nomás se pone aquí a platicar o pone a sacar los videos. Y van que eso. Y van las de
¿Cómo vamos?
no te lo dando un repasando todo eso. Lo del otro como que me estoy un poco atorando de las pinches palabras de pronunciación y me desesperé. Y a lo mejor me regresé a esto porque cuando me atoro con algo de que no puedo pronunciar, me quedo ahí, me quedo y no avanzo nada y a lo mejor me quedo a lo, me regreso a lo de lo que está.
Escuchaste el curso por los municipales. Recuerdo. No cool. How no one to look at very from the name of my time. Could have reached the strong and learners can now be dark and then will be solid of falling degree.
No, pues sí. Si yo hablara el inglés, no, pues como se me venga la pinche.
¿Ves como la viejita dice ayer?
Sí. Es que sí, usan un chingo de palabras.
Es que es Windows.
Yo sí lo digo, capaz de que que no.
Claro, es que es la.
O sea, lo ven uno hispano y dicen, no está bien pronunciado y luego no es. Ellos como son buenas, que les digas que no, porque lo usan.
Se da la vuelta por ahí.
¿Vas a venir mañana?
¿Mañana qué es? Claro.
¿Con la nevadón que va a estar?
¿En serio?
No, está re lejos. Si vengo, nomás vengo poncho y me largo.
¿Cuándo va?
Sí. Justamente están entre 6 a no sé cuántas pulgadas. De 4 y 7 pulgadas. Ya. Poco porque vives aquí como a 10, 15 minutos.
Media hora.
Pero te vas por aquí sencillamente.
¿De dónde viene usted?
Yo pues vengo desde el sur, del norte.
¿Cuánto tiempo manejas?
Casi los 40, 35 minutos.
Pues lo mismo.
35 minutos, pero yo vengo en chinga loca. O sea, vengo puro highway, no agarro luces ni nada. Desde que salgo de la casa, no, nomás tengo 1, 2 stops. Y ya.
¿Para qué veas en
Pero las únicas luces que agarro es la de la salida de aquí, del gasolín, y la de la esquina, y es todo.
¿Yo?
No, pues todas las un chingo de luces.
No mucho.
No mucho, sí. Salir de tu casa, el freeway mínimo son unas 4 a 6.
De 31 minutos.
Fíjate. No, pero fíjate, te vas por una ruta,
No, se me puede ganar el frío.
una ruta de tráfico. ¿A poco en Minneapolis no hay una escuela?
¿Para qué?
¿De manejo?
Sí, la única que está aquí.
Vi por ahí, ahorita que me acuerdo.
Escuelas de manejo. Ay, pero para clase B, la de gratis. Como la negrita. Por ejemplo, quieren hacer clase en una escuela, también de basura.
Yo la neta, porque estoy amarrado con el tren, pero si no, mejor me aviento a la clase de carros de basura. ya está ahí con calma, va sacando la pero no,
Pero
no
este
puede.
contrato puede quedar así, ¿no? Hasta cuando tú regreses y saques la licencia, puedes renovar el contrato. Yo también, yo sí iba a ir a la escuela, pero ya me fui a las clases. Como que no tengo
Quizás los,
paciencia.
los demás como que no me llaman mucho la
No
atención.
tengo paciencia para los cosas, de verdad.
No, y es que es más. Ay, sí, luego dices tú, estos no hablan español y por ahí les vas diciendo un cabrón y sí entiende ya valió
Lo
madre.
que pasa es que tienen cámara, ¿no?
Sí.
Ahora imagínate.
No, te reportan y hay que hacer.
Si tú te quedas callado.
Es que debes ir todo en eso bien seguro, no enojado, no tratarlos bien, se van peleando, debes relacionar qué vas a hacer,
Ajá.
tienes que manejar con cuidado porque llevas a chiquillos, un accidente y casi te viene perjudicando un chingo, o sea, es muy estricto esa pinche clase.
Es que verdad es más despacio, más tranquilo, que manejas despacio.
Ujú.
No andas en, a ver si que chinga, como
Siento que esa y la de los bomberos son las más como que para ambulancias son bien, ¿cómo le llaman? Tienes que estar como al 100% bien a lo que estás haciendo. En el trailer he visto algún día pues, un accidente, un error que hay que te cierra un bueno. En esas madres no debe ser nada. La escuela menos, el pinche vas de escuela de ambulancia. Los bomberos los que cada ratito.
vas a la ciudad también. A la ciudad paga más que la escuela, pero. ¿Y quiénes luego les dan este
Los de la ciudad. ¿Qué? ¿Bases de la ciudad? No.
Los bases que hay de la ciudad. Los bases normales de
Los de transporte.
los transportes, claro. La ciudad, digamos.
Ajá.
Ellos pagan más que los de bases. Como dice, los camiones de basura, les pagan igual, como dice, 25.
Está muy bien. Muy bien.
Claro, pero estoy comenzando y luego te dan las horas.
$80 más que yo. Entonces viene sacando como $1,080.
¿Cuánto ganan?
1,900 sacan entonces por quincena. Yo gano 1,830. Sí, como 1,930 o 1,950 ganan entonces por quincena.
Quincena. Pero con overtime o sea,
No, 40 horas nomás.
40 horas.
Sí.
Como
O sea, 80 horas pues.
80
O sea,
horas.
porque me pagan por quincena.
Claro.
Está bien. Y además andas manejando. O sea, andas recogiendo botes de basura. Como que ya me estoy animando a eso mejor. Estoy en casa todos los días. Trabajan, pienso que 8 horas nada más.
Por eso, trabajas las 8 horas, ni siquiera hacer overtime, te pagan el esfuerzo, dice la negra, que es 14 horas a veces que hace overtime.
No,
Recoges tu ruta,
sí,
de ahí hay más, te dicen, te vas.
te vas. No, pues está chingón, nomás vas manejando. Botes de basura, vámonos.
Claro.
Está divertido. O sea, yo lo digo que sí está divertido porque te metes.
Yo te decía, ya te ves, pasas la ciudad, por tu calle.
Yo donde estoy, pues es pueblo. Está bien, tranquilo. Nomás es una calle principal, la que está transitada y ya, o sea, no hay tanto pedo. Los demás son calles como las de por acá de 35, 40 millas y es todo. No, me cae que primera.
Pero ahí en estas iglesias. Me imagino, si me entiendes, porque
Pues
yo,
es igual que acá.
yo quería ir a los bases de la ciudad, ¿no? Y estaba en la escuela de inglés o chance y ahí llegaron con ofertas de trabajo. Ahora mismo mi esposa mi cuñada es profesora. Ella me mandó a la escuela de ella, va a ver el jueves, va a ver la inspección de trabajo. Entonces me mandan diciendo que hay una compañía que paga la escuela, todo eso, de transporte, o sea, que si quiere que vaya a ver, aplicar.
Ya. No, está bien.
Entonces me dice, yo pregunté ahí, porque llegan esos, así como llegan a oficiar aquí, ahí llegaron, y le pregunté que si podía, y se decía que siga yendo a la escuela para que aprenda más, porque necesito hablar inglés cuando manejar de la ciudad. Ves que los manejar decían, sí, pero no te puedo, el camión de basura, no te puedo decir, yo te digo, vas a la ciudad, claro, que está en inglés. No la basura, no creo. Eso va a ser muy fácil.
Es lo que te digo, que siento que la de la basura más te va a decir, ok, pues sabes todo el sistema de camiones, cuando se te chinga un camión, pues tienes que venir acá, o estás inspeccionando, necesitas algo, tienes que ir allá, pues hablar con mecánicos. Son detallitos y eso, pero no más fáciles, dices, están en carro, los policías, los niños los agarras y los llevas y dices, esto. O sea, como quiera te das a entender. Y un
Claro,
poco
sí.
lo que tú puedas hablar y
Es que
entiendas.
todo se viene aprendiendo. Paso por paso, igual así como en la escuela, como es en el trabajo también. Hay cosas nuevas que no va
Sí,
llegando.
vas aprendiendo y
Sí.
después ya lo vuelves a hacer rutina y ya
Ujú.
entiendes, ya sabes qué rollo. Y lo de las horas, pues te dicen, hey, vas a ir a esta ruta. Y tú te vas a decir, pues, ¿cuál es? Yo pienso que tienes un mapa y tienes cómo, qué calles, qué casas vas a agarrar, qué casas no, porque algunas que no pagan o cualquier cosa, pues, no puedes llevarte a la basura también. Te han de marcar. No creo que no sepas que te digan la pinche calle, la Concord y te digan la casa 1520 y ya. O sea, dices tú, pues en esta calle no voy a levantar de esta casa, ese bote de basura. Y como dicen aquí, los botes que no están apilados, pues algunos los dejan, otros güeyes sí se bajan y mueven el bote y te lo levantan. Algunos güeyes, pues vale madres. Hay otros que allá en mi casa me lo dejaron otra vez, siempre los ponía, o sea, juntos pero no pegados, separados. Y ahora me lo pusieron que no, uno allá y otro acá. No, pues ni pedo, ya. Pero pues si yo veo a los demás vecinos que los tienen, y los juntos pero no pegados. Y tal vez me hicieron así, digo, ah, chinga, pues, que será el único que, pero, no me afecta nada. Es lo mismo, pero no, yo veo que no hay tanto pedo. Un primo trabaja en California, también ya tenía años trabajando en el trailer y no habla mucho inglés. Y anda para arriba y para abajo el hijo de la chingada. Te digo, ¿cómo le haces? Si pues ahí hablo y ya trato de hablar y me entienden.
Claro, no, como digo, o sea,
Algunas
no es de
ciudades
todos
sí,
lados, te digo, yo no, digo, tal vez sea el inglés, tal
pero,
vez, pues yo no te pone dura, sino,
pero lo de la ciudad sí está más, porque piensa más que va, claro, más gente y problemas, más, como que es más,
preguntas de la
sí,
gente,
claro.
aparte de eso tienes que reportar por radio, ¿verdad?
Es que es seguridad de un hombre, o de personas, pues, un accidente, se cae o algo ya te está diciendo, no. Y aquí no.
Y otra cosa, de repente hay sospechoso o algo, un problema, tienes que reportar por radio con claves,
Todo.
te enseñan tantas cosas que se pueden hacer.
Y el pinche bote de basura no vas a reportar, ay, este güey se cayó ese bote, o no tienes contacto con la gente. La neta, yo veo que esos güeyes no tienen nada de contacto con los, a donde vas a recoger la basura. Pues sí, tiene razón, en lo de autobuses sí es así.
Claro, hay como
Como
de
el vas de
basura,
escuela
¿no?
igual, el vas de escuela igual debes saber. La neta sí, te comienzan a hablar, que debes de hacer esto, que este niño, tú dices, que te dijeron, quién sabe. A ratito un chamaco ya te anda manoseando, o ya lo dejaste por otro lado que no. Es... Sí, pero no, eso de basura, a mí me ha llamado la atención desde hace tiempo, porque es los 5 días, los días festivos, pues te lo dan y vas el sábado a reponerlo, pero te pagan todo, y estás de lunes a viernes, y estás todos los días en tu casa, al menos que quieras trabajar la hora, si es que quieres, no es a huevo. Eso es opcional, o sea, no es como son los güeyes que aquí que no quieren y otros que sí les gusta, pues ahora. Y eso de irse, pues sí, me llama la atención un viaje y eso, pero como que lo voy a ir pensando cuando ya tenga mis 50, 55 años, ya mejor cambiarme a estar más en la casita.
Y un video lo que es veraz, lo que también puede ser con esto, tú dices, si tú te vas a meter con un gato aquí, no, está acá. Si es que ya quieres hacer algo, tienes que ir a un poco más de inglés. ¿Cuántos años tienes?
Yo, no, ya tengo 39.
9. No. Entonces, por ejemplo, sacar tu propio truck.
Sí me has dicho, pero eso debes de tener una casa donde parquearlo. Porque si no vas a ir a rentar.
No,
Fácil.
¡Hola!
¡Hola, Pepi!
Deja ya ver el perro.
¡Oh! Se fue la lengua.
Oh, okay. What?
What do you do?
What What did you?
I feel like you do something behind it.
I hit you in the back of the head.
Really?
I
Yeah, that's why I'm feeling that.
That's why I'm feeling.
Motorcycle, car.
Car.
Why do you have motorcycle?
Oh, I got a test today.
Oh, yeah.
What time?
Yeah. I don't know.
11, 12, 1.
I don't know.
I just came early, so they can surprise me. I was backing up. I did it really good in the dock today. Well, today I was good. Yesterday I sucked. The day before I sucked.
I don't know why that. Some days you do good, some days you...
Today I was good. One pull up. Sometimes I got it right in there. Didn't have to do pull up. Yesterday,
¿Por qué será así? The other day I took just one pull up, sometimes no pull up. But some days, hey, 4 or 5 pull ups they cannot do.
forward, go backwards, say, to start all over again.
Yeah. Doesn't
Hell with it.
¿Cuál te atoras?
¿De qué?
De las maniobras.
Trato de hacer en la primera. En la segunda ya lo hago, sí, pero ya. Si estoy con ganas, si no me regreso y hago, trato de hacer la primera.
Pero si los haces en las secuencias que te dicen ellos de que los errores, pues. O sea, que puedes hacer un stop o echarte para adelante y para atrás otra vez. O sea, ¿lo haces así o lo estás como que, no me sale chingado? Estás intenta la misma.
No,
O te vas para adelante y regresas, o sea, que comienzas otra vez.
no, es que, ¿cuántos pull ups en
Pues aquí nomás ves que nomás es uno.
aquí me dan uno, entonces lo que trato de hacer el primero, si no
Eso
puedo,
sí.
o sea, si no me dan el primero, regreso y le
Pero acuérdate que el primero es 0.
claro, primer ser, por
El
eso.
segundo sí es 1.
Pero ya, si ya no hago el segundo, a lo mejor me regreso y sigo practicando, estoy practicando más, ¿me entiendes?
Ajá, porque
Porque yo veo a algunos somalianos que 4, 5, 6 veces, pero no tiene sentido si estás tratando de poner dinero, a lo mejor regresa y practico otra
es
vez.
que hay personas con la Peggy y andaban diciendo ahí, de aquel lado, de este lado estaba un somalí. Pues, debes de ir para este lado, ¿no? Ya estaba saliendo para la calle, para el
He's lying.
sign.
Sure.
What did you say about me?
What you say, the guy de Somali, Somalis, when by the truck, you say the left the other cono, ¿cómo se cono?
Cone?
Oh,
And it's left, other guy is right, the right is the street, the
they roll over those barrels all the time. You see
¿Cómo?
it. Squish them.
lo que hablo chistoso que va así, buscando, y su remolque está allá. Tú estás acá y dices, no, pues el remolque está allá, ¿qué lado? ¿Por qué no? No, eso sí está mal. Pues imagínate un carro así, ¿dónde estás? Todavía sí está bien, pero ahora lo más así, ¿dónde? No mames, pero pues hablan inglés un poco y ya.
Como te decía, de cómo es si... Sí está bien interesante, pero como...
Food.
Mi...
Food. Swift is coming.
¿Sí, cartel?
¿Qué?
¿Cuál es su-
They always bring stuff I can't eat.
Sí.
I gained 3 pounds.
What you bring?
Boy.
What you for always?
Well, all of them. They always bring food that I can't eat because I'm on a diet.
Are you on diet?
Yeah.
Why?
Carlos.
He's trying to be nice.
Pues, de la slack I used to roll. Este es del frente. El otro de atrás te dice que el 90 degree.
Yeah.
¿Puedes explicar eso igual en el de atrás o el de atrás les dice como dice que
When the
90
brake is
degree?
applied. Is that for the brake chamber? Or the,
Is that exactly right?
yeah, should be at a 90-degree angle when the brake is applied. So when you put on the brake, the slack adjuster should be at a 90-degree angle.
No, this we did say no more out more than 1 inch.
The push rod.
The push rod.
So if you pull on the slack adjuster, you pull it back and the push rod comes out, it should not come out more than 1 inch. And that indicates that the brakes are adjusted correctly. If it comes out more than 1 inch, they need to be adjusted.
And he asked like if he can say something what he said in the front wheels and the back too or no?
So, it's for the front wheels.
This for front wheel.
The back wheels, should be at a 90-degree angle when the brakes are applied.
It's for the brake is down.
When you have your foot on, when you have the brakes on for the trailer, the brakes should be at a 90-degree angle when the brakes are applied. So when the brakes are on on the trailer, it should be on a 90-degree angle.
But he asked like if he can say something in the back too or no? Like
Yeah, he has to say it on the back.
no, but
The front, when you do the front, when you do the
Pull
front
back in.
brakes, you just talk about the slack adjuster and the push rod.
Mhm.
You don't have to say it's at a 90-degree angle in the front. In the engine compartment, underneath there by the wheel, you don't have to say that needs to be at a 90-degree angle. The trailer, when the brakes are applied, has to be at a 90-degree angle when the brakes are applied.
but you cannot test by put by hand on the trailer too,
Doesn't say it, but I suppose you can, yeah.
right? That's why he
You
say
don't have to say it.
that's why he say can I say something
for
in
the
the trailer in the front
No.
too?
No. So in the front, you say,
Slack adjuster
brake
and push rod.
canister, is it the canister?
Slack adjuster and push rod.
Yeah, the
Cannot
slack
lose more than
adjuster and the push rod
Cannot,
to check,
cannot lose more than 1 inch when you pull by hand.
when you pull the
Should not pull out more 1 inch.
slack adjuster, you have to have a glove on. Pull that up, the push rod cannot come out more than 1 inch. And that indicates that the brakes are adjusted properly. If it comes out more than 1 inch, then they need to be adjusted. In the back, in the trailer, you just say the slack adjuster, the slack adjuster.
Slack adjuster, push rod.
I don't think you say anything about the slack adjuster. The brakes in the back, when applied, should be at a 90-degree angle. When the brakes are applied, when the brakes are on, pull the brakes out in the cabin, the trailer and the tractor. You pull those out and they're applied in the trailer. So the brakes in the back should be at a 90-degree angle when the brakes are applied.
But they have a slack adjuster push rod too.
They do, but I don't think you have to say anything about it. It just has to be at a 90-degree angle.
Digo que es porque está al revés. El de aquí está de frente. El otro está
Listen
volteado.
to the video.
Es diferente. Por eso es
The
90
damn
degree.
video. Listen to that stupid
No,
video.
I don't need that.
God, I'm so sick of that video. It is.
Videos.
It is.
No, porque aquí.
If I have to listen to Bill one more time, I'm going to
I
throw
wanna
up.
sleep.
Okay.
I'm so tired.
What are you going to do there, buddy?
Okay, it's different.
Okay. Let me.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
It's the up, or it is the back. Front or the back.
Are you talking about the trailer or are you talking about the tractor?
I said the trailer front and the back trailer and the
Okay,
truck.
so when you're talking about the back of the tractor,
Yeah, but the front and back is different.
so when
The
you're,
brake.
yeah, you don't talk about the back of the tractor. You talk
Okay.
about this.
Front. Okay.
You talk about this, the brake
This is the
hose.
1 inch.
This is your slack adjuster,
Mhm.
and that pulls out with a glove on.
I
The
know.
push rod should not come out more than 1 inch.
You see where it's different? It's back. No? Or it's up.
This is your slack
The
adjuster.
90
This
degree.
is, right, and that has to be at a 90-degree angle. This is your slack adjuster. This is your push button. So this has to be at a 90-degree angle when the brakes are applied. And the hoses are not cracked in, broken, stolen, missing.
See, good. That's
Another good thing to talk about, the guy was telling me, is in the glad hands when they're connecting your brakes. There's a. I'm trying to get my fingers stuck. You do that. Okay, so when you take these apart, make sure these bushings are good. So you want to make sure you check the bushings inside when you're connecting the blades. That's gonna be a bitch.
sí, yo
And I'm gonna be a damn truck driver.
creo que es igual, pero está
I'm gonna have to get a team. I'm gonna have to find me a man to be. Oh God, just kill each other. He won't give me a shirt. He won't give me a shirt. Can you imagine me being a team driver with him?
Sí, dice la, sí, es lo que dice la viejita, que quiere un team, un hombre para andar manejando. Así que bueno.
team for driver.
You want a team, right?
With you?
No.
No.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
We kill each other. Carlos, what are you doing, goddammit? Peggy, shut up! Give me your shirt. No! Give me your shirt.
Que en otra forma me digan.
Damn it.
No.
Oh my God.
¿Irán a venir sus güeyes aquí?
Alimentarme.
Here or Hudson? La company.
I don't give a shit.
No people here?
Oh, it's at what time? 10 o'clock? What
10.
time is it?
20. No, 10.
Oh, it's not 10 o'clock yet. Not even 9 o'clock yet. Boy, I should be at home in bed. I'm here too freaking early. Damn it. Damn it. My telephone. $9:45. Oh, it's 40. Yeah.
El camino aquí no me gustó, cómo quedó. Interstate, Hawaii.
I'm tired, Peggy.
Go get a cup of coffee.
I don't want to have a sleep.
Uy.
Él se levanta a las 12, ¿ok? Peggy,
12.
wake me up at 11, okay?
You don't want me to wake you up.
11 or 12.
So why you here?
Huh?
So why you here?
Oh, I wake people up in a very different way.
Oh.
You don't want me to wake you up.
Oh my God. You say yesterday you say we are friends. So what kind of friend are you? Yeah.
I'll pull the chair out from underneath you and say, "Come on, Carlos, it's time to get up."
Mhm.
La neta me levanto como zombie para ir a ver a mis hijos, ¿no?
No manches. ¿A qué hora sales?
A las 12.
¿A las 12?
Ujú. Hasta dormir 1:30, 12. ¿No?
Nah, pues a dónde.
Ya vengo para acá. ¿Qué voy a regresar a dormir? Pues no me puedo concentrar tampoco en el cómo es, ¿no? Estás bien dormido.
And my son's a drummer.
Voy a dormir en mi carro, ¿ok?
Ven, Carlos, llamen.
Ay, yo no hago nada, pero
Oh.
Damn it. Hello. You got the wrong number.
Una donita pues,
That's
para
all right.
plegarte el día. Donas.
Nashua, New Hampshire.
Okay,
Okay, come here, Carlos.
Hey, habla.
My son was, this isn't my son, but my son plays the drum.
Ah, chévere.
So I sent this to my son. I said, don't try that on stage.
Sí.
That's where I live. Yeah, Sophie Giannis. Not any different than when I left. It's dirty. It's got the whole place dirty.
Huh.
Clean that house daily. that's why I have to go to the bathroom so much. Oh shit, what time was that at? 2:30. Oh fuck, I could have left maybe at 2:30. Damn it. I can write it on my hand. I'll forget. And I gotta go pee. I gotta go pee.
Oh my God, baby.
I gotta pee.
Why?
I gotta pee. I took a pill to make me pee. No.
It's okay.
No. I need a cup. Oh, here's one.
Oh yeah.
There you go. I would overflow that cup.
Learning would be learning most learning must be on call take on continuous take one call for each take long learning cannot be cracked long learning cannot be cracked
Yeah, we just didn't have time. So we did all the in-cap and air race. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, so I passed those two, so that, so we didn't get started right away, so now I'm just finishing the tractor. Yeah, and then in-cap and then air race and stuff. So that's good. Well, that's our part. It's not a specific word. It's like, you're all up. Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to schedule admissions. I did read on that's good.
So I think they're gonna either send you or call you. So,
Yeah.
you should be. Nice, should already be good to go. At least it looks like it. Yep, cool. So just make sure you're in front of the camera and speak clearly, and then they'll be coming in on that. And if you need anything or if something happens, just let me know. I'll go make the announcement.
Is this still got passcode on? Is it,
Zap's out or something?
yes. 424260. Okay, so cool.
Good morning.
How's it going?
It's going.
I'm good. Is that good or bad?
Bad.
How you doing?
That was good. It's okay. I know. I got to test it. Oh, shoot.
Do you know if anybody else is coming in? Anybody?
No, I'm not sure.
No. I really don't think something.
How you doing?
I was coming on todavía. Buenos días. ¿Qué se hizo? Pues mire, el otro día nos vino a buscar, específicamente a usted. Yo le digo,
You're welcome. Yeah, I got a pen for you. I said, go grab one here. Is this thing working? It's got a delay or something like that. Okay, there it goes. So how's everybody doing today? Good. Good. My name's Scott. I'm with Swift Transportation, and what I'm here to do today is to discuss with you what Swift has to offer you once you've completed your training here at Interstate. I'm going to talk to you about the additional training phase that you're going to be going through, because there will be an additional step of training. This is going to be paid training, though. I'll talk to you about your starting rate of pay, the raises and bonuses you'll be getting for your first year. We'll also talk to you about different work opportunities. We'll talk about benefits. I'll be able to answer any questions that you have about Swift or about the industry in general. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Those of you that are in Hudson, I got a phone here in front of me, so just text me if you have any questions, and I'll get to those questions as quickly as I can, okay? If you're not hearing me in Hudson very well, then I'll just shoot me a text message and let me know, and I'll either slow down or speak up, okay? Okay, so before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about me and how I got started with Swift. Because I'm actually not some computer geek who's been sitting behind a desk for the last 20 years. Oh, hold on a second. A couple more things.
Thank you.
And I got this too.
Seems like we'll run into the chairs.
There you are. Like I said, I'm not some computer geek who's been sitting behind a desk for the last 20 years. I've actually got my CDL as well. And I got my CDL training done exactly the same way that you guys are doing it, by going through a truck driving school. I got my CDL career started with Swift, and I've been with Swift now for 3.5 years. During that time, if you count my student phases, I've actually been in 6 different positions with this company in 3.5 years. I started out as a student, I was a trainee, I was a company driver for a while, I was an owner-operator for a while. A little over a year ago, I took a position as a recruiter for the state of Michigan, which is where I live. And most recently, I took a position as a regional field recruiter. And now what I do is I travel to, at last count, was about 120 truck driving schools in a 5-state region that surrounds Lake Michigan. So I cover all of Michigan, northern Indiana, northern Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and I've actually got 5 schools in Missouri that I'm responsible for as well. So I've actually got 6 states. But so I do a lot of traveling. And I basically traded in my 18 wheels for 4 wheels. So if you have any questions, like I said, please don't hesitate to ask, because I've got a lot of experience with this company. I know it very well. It's very unusual to find a recruiter who's actually driven a truck for a living. But what's even more unusual than that is to find one who drove for the company they represent to you. So I do know this company very well, okay? So let's move on to the next stage of training that you're going to be going through. After you get your training done here at Interstate, I'm going to bring you into my terminal in Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota for company orientation. The orientation is going to last for 2 days. During this time, you're going to be learning a lot about Swift as a company. You'll be learning a lot about what you're going to be doing for Swift as a driver. And you're also going to be filling out all your tax documents for payroll, like your W-2 and your I-9 and all that other fun stuff that the federal government requires, okay? At the end of that 2-day orientation, we're going to be assigning each of you a driver mentor. The mentor is going to be an experienced driver who's going to be taking you out for some over-the-road training. It's either going to be over-the-road or regional, okay? This is going to be paid training. And your pay for while you're with your mentor, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, from Minnesota is $550 per week. Check with Brandon, though. He'll be able to tell you for sure. That's going to be your base rate of pay. That's going to cover you for the first 40 hours that you work each week. If you work more than 40 hours, which you probably will, then you'll be making additional money over and above that $500 or $550 per week. Okay? You're going to be paid additional for anything that's either driving time or on duty not driving, okay? When I first started at Swift as a trainee, I was making about $350 or $375 a week. It was pretty tough, because prior to that, I was unemployed for about 2.5 months. Then I went to truck driving school for 3 weeks, so I had bills piling up. And what we were finding as a company is we were finding that a lot of our students were so concerned about their bills at home, because a lot of you guys aren't working during this time. How many of you guys in the room here are working while you're going to school? Is there anybody? You are? Okay. Not unusual to see a very small percentage of students that are working while they're going to school. That's very common. I was the same way. I wasn't working, so I had bills piling up. But what we were finding is that a lot of our students were so concerned about their bills at home that they weren't able to focus 100% on their training. So what we did is we significantly raised the starting rate of pay so that we can try and alleviate some of that financial burden, okay? Hold on one second, I've got a sign-in sheet that I'm going to pass around that I forgot about. I'm going to start this with you. If you would just give me your name, your email address, and your phone number. If you would do me a favor, please, everybody sign in, okay? I do have bosses to answer to and things like that. They want to see how many students I'm speaking to. At the end of this presentation, after you've heard everything that I have to offer, if you don't want me to email you or call you going forward, I will definitely respect that. But I do need you to sign in for me. And please, please, please print clearly, okay? Because I got to be able to read that stuff, okay? Okay. So you're going to be with your mentor for anywhere between 3 and 5 weeks. The reason it takes between 3 and 5 weeks to complete is because you're going to be required to get a minimum of 200 hours of behind-the-wheel driving with your mentor before you can graduate from his or her truck. That 200 hours you can complete as quickly as you want and as quickly as you can safely and legally do it. I know for a fact that it can be done in 3 weeks because I did it in 3 weeks. So I know for sure that it can be done that fast, okay? What's going to make the difference for each of you as far as how long you'll be with your mentors is it's going to be completely dependent upon you and how much you want to drive the truck when you're with your mentor. So if you want to do like I did and drive the truck for 8 or 10 hours a day, then you can complete that training in as little as 3 weeks. If you only want to drive the truck 5 or 6 hours a day, it's going to take you longer to get through the mentor program. Does that make sense? Okay. So once you got your 200 hours of behind the wheel driving done, the mentor is going to take you to one of our terminals. We have about 40 different terminals in 27 states in the US. Most of those terminals do student upgrades. So they're going to take you to the terminal and you're going to go for one final test with Swift. That's going to be a short written test, a short backing skills test, and a short road test. And what we're testing you on here is to find out what did you learn while you're with your mentor. Once you've completed that test, then we're going to release you to a solo status. You're going to be given the keys to your new truck and your training will be complete. Okay? Are there any questions about the rest of the training process before we move on? No? We all good?
Is it $550 a week throughout the 3 to 5 weeks?
Throughout that 3 to 5 weeks. $550 is going to be the minimum you're making. Yep, for that full 3 to 5 weeks. I don't see any questions coming in from Hudson right now, so okay. Okay, everybody good? Ready to move on? Okay. Everybody awake this morning? Maybe next time I got to bring coffee for everybody. Decaf. You're an unleaded coffee person, huh? Not me. I gotta have my caffeine. I'm kind of a coffee snob though, so you know. Okay, so at that stage we are going to be releasing you to a solo status. This is something that a lot of students are not aware of, so I bring this up just so that you're aware of what's out there. I want you to be able to make an educated and informed decision regardless of what company you go to, whether it's Swift or anybody else. I want to make sure that you understand what to look for, okay? So we're going to be releasing you to a solo status. There's a lot of companies that do not do that. What a lot of companies are going to do is they're going to put you into, after you're done with your mentor training, they're going to put you into what some companies call a phase 2 of training. Other companies call it extended training. The concept's the same. What it means is that you're not going to be released to a solo status. You're going to be put into a team truck. And you're going to be in a team truck for anywhere between 6 and 12 months, depending on the company. And some of these companies, you'll never go solo because they only do team driving. They don't have any solo driving at all. Got a question from Hudson. What separates Swift from other major carriers? Well, there's a lot actually. Part of it is our pay. Part of it is our training program. Like I said, the training program where a lot of companies are going to be releasing you to solo or releasing you to team status. We're going to be releasing you to solo. There's a growing number of companies that do that. Okay. As far as what separates Swift from other carriers, that's a pretty general question. So once we get done with all the presentation, I'll probably already address that for you. For those of you in Hudson who are asking that. If I haven't answered the question by the end, then ask me something more specific, and I'll be happy to answer it. Okay. We're going to be going through a lot of information about Swift today, though. Okay. Okay. A couple of challenges with going team. If you go with one of these other companies, number one, you hope that your team driver is going to be showering regularly, because you're in an 8x8 area. You're in an 8x8 area with another person, and you really, really hope that they're showering. Okay. So, me personally, this was extremely important to me. I did not want to be put into a team truck. I wanted to have my own truck. Okay. The only one that I wanted to go team with was my dog. And Swift wouldn't allow my dog to drive because she doesn't have any thumbs, or a CDL for that matter. But but I did not want to be put into a team truck. This is really important to me. This is actually the biggest reason I chose Swift over any other companies, because I did not want to be put into a team truck. Now I had a little bit of a leg up because my brother's been driving a truck for about 22 years. So he gave me some things to look out for, you know, when I first started looking into getting into this myself. So I knew to look for team truck versus solo, where a lot of students don't. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? Okay, is there anybody who's looking to go team? Nobody here? Anybody in Hudson that might be looking to go team? Because if you are, we do have a lot of team opportunities available to you. You're just not required to go team with us. Okay?
Do they take showers?
What's that?
Do they take showers?
Do who take showers? The drivers?
Yeah.
I hope so. If not, then the one who is taking a shower is going to have a little discussion with their teammate. and it's not going to be a comfortable one.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on. Now that we've talked about all the boring stuff and gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the important stuff. Let's talk about money. How many here in the room are doing this because you're looking for a hobby? You're bored and you got nothing better to do. No? Okay, that's not unusual. I've actually only had 2 people raise their hand for that question so far. I asked it just about every truck driving school I go to. I ask that question. I've actually had 2 people raise their hand for that question so far. One of them, when I asked the question, I was in a classroom of about 35 or 40 students. This guy raised his hand. He's like, "Man, I got all kinds of money. I don't need any money." This guy was in his early 20s. Okay, like 21, 22. I'm like, dude, you are going to fit in perfect in the trucking industry because you got the BS down, my friend. Unless he's independently wealthy somehow at 21 years old, I don't know. But the other guy that raised his hand, he was from the Chicago area. He actually probably was doing it as a hobby because he retired from the fire department, and I guess he was tired of being retired, if you can imagine that. I picture myself traveling to exotic beaches someplace and sipping pina colada sitting on the beach. But, not that I'm really going to be able to enjoy it like I could when I was in my 20s, but, you know. But he actually probably was actually doing it as a hobby. Okay. A lot of people get into trucking though because they like to travel. That's a really good reason to drive a truck. When I was driving, I was in all of the states in the United States with the exception of 5 with a truck. The only ones I ever went to was New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Rhode Island, and Delaware. I've been in every other state with a truck. I take it back. I never went to Hawaii either. I kept asking my driver manager to give me loads going to Hawaii. She said I can't. She said it's something to do with trucks not floating or something like that. I don't know. So I never went to Hawaii or Alaska because we don't even go to Alaska. Okay, but every other state I've been in with a truck. I've got my favorite parts of the country, like the Pacific Northwest. I love that area. It's a beautiful area. I've never been there. Okay, so let's talk about the money. Once you get released to a solo status, your pay is going to be changing from that $500 or $550 base rate pay, and you're going to be put onto mileage pay. Your mileage pay is going to range between 38 cents a mile and 52 cents a mile as your starting rate. Okay. The way this works is for any loads that are 500 miles. It goes based on the difference between the 38 and the 52 goes based on each individual load that you accept, and it's based on the number of miles that are on that load. So each load pays differently. But the minimum you'll be making, actually, I'm sorry, for west of the Mississippi is actually 37 cents to 52 cents. We pay a penny premium on the other side of the Mississippi because over there it tends to be more populated. There's more cities, there's more traffic, and that sort of thing. So it's 37 cents to 52 cents on when you pick up on the west side of the Mississippi. So if you pick up over here, it's going to be 37 cents a mile. If you pick up over on the other side of the Mississippi, it's going to be 38 cents as your base rate. Okay, so. Okay, so the way this works is for any loads that are 500 miles or more on the load, you're going to be paid 37 cents a mile. Okay, any loads that are less than 500 miles, you're going to be paid at a higher mileage rate, going up to 52 cents a mile. Okay, so the lower the mileage on the run goes, the higher the mileage pay goes. And the reason we do that is because with shorter mileage runs, you tend to have a little bit more downtime. So we compensate you for your downtime by paying you a higher mileage rate. Okay, so an example would be this. Let's say you take a 250-mile load, okay? You can have downtime at the beginning when you're picking the load up. You're going to have downtime at the end when you're dropping the load off, and there's only 250 miles in between. Because you're only making money when the wheels are rolling, okay? So we compensate you for those shorter mileage runs at a higher rate to compensate you for that downtime on both sides. Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions about that? Okay, there's a lot of companies out there, they will pay you one mileage rate. Doesn't matter whether it's 25 miles or 2,500 miles. Okay, we want to make sure that you're still making good money on those lower mileage runs. That's why we pay you higher for those. Okay, make sense? Okay. You're going to be getting a total of 3 raises during your first year. These raises are going to amount to a total of 5 cents per mile. So by the time you finish your first year with us, you're going to be at 43 cents a mile on the low side and 57 cents a mile on the high side based on the length of haul. So the entire pay scale is going to slide up 5 cents during your first year. The way the raises work is once you get released to a solo status and you're in your own truck and you've logged your first 30,000 miles or 3 months, whichever comes first, you're going to get your first raise. That raise is going to be for 3 cents a mile. When you get to 60,000 miles or 6 months, whichever comes first, you're going to get your second raise. That one's going to be for a penny a mile. Then when you get to 100,000 miles or a year and a half, whichever comes first, you're going to get another penny raise per mile. Okay? So I told you a few minutes ago that it's 3 raises within your first year. But then just now I flipped it and said that your last raise comes at 100,000 miles or a year and a half. Did anybody catch that? Okay? So the question is, why do I say a year and a half? The reason for that is because the last raise comes at 100,000 miles or a year and a half, whichever comes first. And I'll be completely honest with you, if it takes you a year and a half to get 100,000 miles and you're doing something wrong, you should actually be able to do that very easily within 10 to 11 months, probably even sooner than that. Okay, I'm going to give you a real life example. My last truck that I picked up at the end of March in 2016. It was a brand new 2017 Kenworth. When I picked it up, it had 19 miles on it. When I dropped the truck off in January of 2018, this was only a year and 9 months after I picked the truck up, I already had 231,000 miles on the truck. Okay, that's an average of just under 130,000 miles a year. And I wasn't even driving as much as I could. I could have done more. So if I was doing 130,000 a year, not driving as much as I could, believe me, 100,000 in 10 to 11 months, that's a piece of cake. Okay, you'd probably do it even sooner than that. Okay, that makes sense? The reason we put that year and a half on there is because we have some drivers that we classify as casual drivers. These are drivers that only take maybe 1 or 2 loads a week. Okay, they're not working full time, so they still get the raise. It just takes them a year and a half to get it instead of a year, okay, or less. Okay, make sense to everybody? So I wasn't trying to pull a fast one on you, okay? Okay, so 3 raises within your first year, 30,000, 60,000, and 100,000, okay? You're also going to be getting a total of $3,000 in bonuses during your first 6 months with us, okay? The way this bonus plan works, this is actually a student bonus plan. And we introduced this a little over a year ago. It was last February that we introduced this. When I first started in 2015 as a driver, there was no such thing as a student bonus plan. Matter of fact, it was about six months or so before you got your first significant bonus. Okay. The way this bonus plan works is once you get released to a solo status, during your first 10,000 miles you drive, you're going to be getting 4 separate bonus checks during that first 10,000 miles. Okay. Each one of those bonus checks is going to be for $250. And they're going to be given out in 2,500 mile increments. So when you hit 2,500 miles, 5,000 miles, 7,500 miles, and 10,000 miles, you're going to get a bonus check for $250 for each of those. So it's going to be basically once a week for your first 10,000 miles that you're going to get that $250 bonus. Okay, pretty much every week. The reason we do that is because, again, we know that most students are not working while they're going to school. So you have bills piling up and that sort of thing. We want to give you a nice boost to your income right away once you get going, okay? To try and help you cover some of those bills that have been lingering behind, okay? So first bonus is going to be at $2,500, $5,000, $7,500, and $10,000. Each of those will be for $250, okay? Your next bonus is going to come once you hit the 30,000 mile mark. This is where you get that first raise of 3 cents a mile. So you're going to get your 3-cent raise, but you're also going to get another bonus check at that time. This time your bonus check, though, is going to be for $1,000. Okay? And when you get to 60,000 miles, where you get your second raise, you're going to get another bonus check at that time for another $1,000. Okay? So it's a total of $3,000 and it's paid out within the first 6 months. Okay? It shouldn't take you longer than 6 months to do that. Okay? Do me a favor, grab your brochure. And open up to the front cover, and take a look at this graphic right here. For those of you in Hudson, I'm going to show you right here. You guys don't have brochures there? Okay. This is the bonus plan you guys are going to be on once you finish your first 60,000 mile student bonus plan. So that student bonus plan, that's not the end of the bonuses, that's just the beginning of them. You're going to be getting a bonus check once every 3 months for the rest of your career with Swift. Okay, our bonus plan is extremely generous. I don't go into a lot of detail about this bonus plan. I'll tell you a little bit about it because I'm kind of limited on time, so I don't want to take up too much of your time today. I'll tell you a little bit about it though. But what I will tell you is that we have a very high percentage of our drivers that are making between $1,500 and $3,000 every 3 months just in bonuses, not including their regular pay. Okay, so our bonus plan is extremely generous. Our bonus plan is based on 3 things, and all 3 things are nothing more than just doing the job that you're hired to do. Nothing more than that. Okay. There's 5 different levels to that bonus plan. There's bronze, silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Okay? Everybody starts out at bronze, then you move up to silver, then you move up to gold, then you move up to platinum. Platinum is the highest you can reach in your first year. You have to be at platinum level for a consistent 3 years to go diamond. At the platinum level, you're going to be making 5 cents per mile for every mile you drove the previous 3 months for your bonus check once every 3 months. So every quarter, they're going to tally up how many miles you drove, and they're going to give you a bonus based on whatever level you are in that bonus plan. Now, during the time that you're on your 60,000 mile student bonus plan, you won't be getting bonus checks for this one because you're going to be getting the student bonus instead. Okay, which believe me is much better. Okay, for a brand new driver. Okay, so you won't be getting the bonus checks for this bonus plan, but you will be moving up in those levels. Okay. So you're going to start out at bronze, you go to silver, you go to gold, you go to platinum. There's no reason in the world why you should not be at a platinum level by the time you finish your student bonus plan. You should start at a platinum level. Okay, I'm going to tell you just how easy it is to move up in those levels. Like I said, when I first started, there was no such thing as a student bonus plan. Okay. When I was on my mentor's truck, I started as bronze, just like everybody does. By the time I finished my mentor truck, I was all the way through bronze, almost completely through silver, and almost to gold by the time I finished my mentor's truck in 3 weeks. Okay? There's no reason in the world why you should not be a platinum level when you start out after your first 6 months. Okay. The 3 things that's based on. Number 1, safety. Okay? That's number 1 importance. Be safe out there. I don't care whether you're driving for Swift or for anybody else. Please be safe. There's too many drivers out there that are doing stupid things and they're hurting people out there. So be safe, okay? We are not going to sacrifice safety under any circumstances, okay? If you want to be a road warrior out there, which by the way, I was at a school in northern Michigan on Monday, and I said that if you want to be a road warrior out there, well, guess what? The trucking school was named Road Warrior Trucking School. He's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm like, oh, I guess I probably should change that when I come here. But if you want to be a road warrior out there and do unsafe things, I'm going to tell you, you won't be with Swift for very long. Okay, we're not going to tolerate that. So be safe. Okay, that's number 1 is safety. Number 2 is on-time delivery. Okay, we are a trucking company, but we are also a customer service company. If we don't keep our customers happy, we're not going to have those customers for very long. Okay, so we got to be on time. During the time that I was driving, you're going to hear the term around Swift. Hopefully you won't hear it about you, but you're going to hear this term. The term is service failure. What a service failure is when you had an appointment time that you've missed. Okay? During the time that I was driving, I never had a single service failure. That does not mean that I was always on time for my appointments, though, because there are things that are outside of your control that will delay you. Okay? Example of that would be weather. Can anybody in the room control the weather? No, nobody in the room. How about in Hudson? Anybody in Hudson, can you control the weather? No? Okay. I'm guessing no. If you say yes to that question, then we need to be having a different discussion, okay? Because you can't. And weather's going to delay you, okay? We do not want you driving the truck in adverse weather conditions, okay? If it's unsafe to drive, pull the truck over to a safe location, wait the weather out, and then get back on the road once the weather clears. There's only one person that can determine whether that truck whether it's safe to drive that truck or not. And that is not us, that's you, okay? You make that determination because you're the one there driving, okay? Your first year out there driving, you're gonna be a bit nervous, okay? Just because it's new to you. So things that will make you nervous your first year wouldn't make a driver who's been behind the wheel 20 years nervous, okay? You got to go based on your experience and do what's safe for you, okay? But just make sure you let us know if you're going to be delayed. As long as you let us know, you won't get a service failure. Okay. Another thing that's outside of your control. Can you control whether some dumb? Almost said it. I'm going to be politically correct. Some dummy rolls his truck over on the highway because he's doing something stupid like texting and driving or following too closely and he rolls his truck over. Can you control that? Nope, can't control that. So what if the traffic's backed up because there's an accident up on the highway ahead? You just contact us, let us know that you're being delayed because there's an accident on the highway, and we'll reschedule your appointment. Okay, you can't control that kind of stuff. Okay, can you control whether you get sick? Nope, can't control that. So just let us know. Get your rest. We don't want you driving a truck when you're sick. Okay, get your rest. Get yourself feeling better. We'll put you back to work as soon as you're well again. Can you control whether you set your alarm at night though? Okay. Now, if you're late because of something like that, that would be a service failure. Then that'll affect your bonus. Okay. So number 1 is safety. Number 2 is on-time delivery. Number 3 is just being out there driving. Okay. Just be out there working. That's it. It's nothing more than just doing the job that you're hired to do because it is a job. There's going to be expectations that are involved, just like any job. Okay. So as long as you're out there driving, you're doing it safely, and you're on time, you'll be hitting those higher levels of bonuses. We want you to hit those higher levels of bonuses because if you are, it means you're doing your job, you're doing it well, and you're doing it safely. Okay? So we want to make sure you get those bonuses as an incentive. Okay? Okay, any questions about the starting rate of pay, raises, bonuses, any of that? Yes?
Can you just repeat overall, like, because I was missing.
I'll have to go over it with you later. I can't take time to keep everybody else away, but I'll go over it with you once we get done. Just remind me, okay? Be happy to do that. Okay. Okay, any other questions about the starting rate of pay, raises, and bonuses? Everybody good? Okay. So let's talk about what this actually means as an annual income. What this boils down to is you're going to be somewhere between about $50,000 a year to $60,000 a year your very first year out with us. Okay, $50,000 to $60,000 a year, and that's extremely realistic. Okay. This is not just some number that I pull out of thin air and I just throw it at you. Okay, this is there was a lot of analysis that was done on our pay structure. This was done back in March of last year. In March of last year, what happened is we did a pay increase for drivers, and at that time, corporate wanted to find out realistically what can a first-year driver expect to make with Swift their very first year out. So what they did is they took your starting rate of pay, they took the raises you're going to be getting for the first year, and they took the bonuses you're going to be getting for the first year, and they lumped that all together as your income. Okay. Then they multiplied that by an average of 2,100 miles a week. 2,100 miles a week for a truck driver is nothing. You should be doing more than that. Our average driver does between 2,500 and 3,000 a week. If you're only doing 2,100 miles a week on average, you need to talk to your driver manager and find out what's going on and get you moving. Okay. You should be doing more than that. But we intentionally did it low because we wanted this to be a realistic estimate. We didn't want it to be some pie in the sky pipe dream. You can make up to X number of dollars. Okay, that kind of stuff drives me nuts. So we intentionally did it low, okay? And at 2,100 miles a week, you're going to be over $50,000 a year your very first year out, okay? If you're doing closer to the 2,500 to 3,000 miles a week, you're going to be closer to 55,000 your first year. Since then, though, we've done another pay increase. We did another pay increase that went into effect in August of last year. Now, if you're doing between 2,500 and 3,000, you're going to be somewhere between 55 and 60 first year. There's not a lot of jobs out there that you make $55,000 to $60,000 a year your very first year without a college degree. There's not a lot of jobs you can get where you make $55,000 to $60,000 a year with a college degree. You're making that your first year. Okay. It was many years before I broke 50,000 for the first time. I was in my mid-40s when I broke 50K for the first time. Okay, so $50,000 a year is nothing to sneeze at. Who's used to making that kind of money? Anybody? Okay. That's really good income, okay? So for those of you who aren't used to making that kind of money, you're in for a really nice raise, okay? And you know, there's jobs out there that you can get where you're making $55,000 to $60,000 a year, but you're usually busting your butt to do it. You know, it's either on a construction site or something like that. You know, when I got out of what I was doing before, as I told you earlier, I'm not some computer geek. I used to be. I was a corporate guy for a lot of years, and I got out of the corporate world because, quite honestly, if I didn't, I was going to lose what was left of my sanity. I was tired of corporate politics. I couldn't deal with it anymore. It was driving me nuts. So I needed something that was going to be able to replace the income I was used to without having to deal with the corporate political BS. Okay, so that's why I got into trucking. Okay, but believe me, there's not a lot of jobs out there where you make that kind of money. Think about this for a second. This is kind of funny. you think about it for a minute, because like I said, you can make that kind of money working on a construction site or something like that. But how many jobs can you have where if you get tired in the middle of your shift, you can go take a nap? Not only that, but if you get tired in the middle of your shift, your boss wants you to go take a nap. Okay, that's the trucking world. We want you to go take a nap. If you're tired, don't drive drowsy. We want you to go get an hour of sleep. Go get some rest. Get back on the road once you're fully awake. Okay. But yeah, your boss will want you to take a nap if you're tired. We don't want you driving drowsy. Okay. I can't think of another job like that. Okay. What other job can you have where you're gonna have a corner office with a view that's gonna change every day? It's true. That's one of the things I really miss about driving a truck is seeing the country. Now I'm just in Michigan up to Minnesota, but which is pretty. But there's other parts of the country I know that I'd like to go to too. Okay, so $55,000 to $60,000 a year is very realistic. Definitely between 50 and 60 for sure. Okay. Okay. Any questions about income before we move on? No, we good?
What about the team? How much they make?
Team drivers do pay differently. We pay our team drivers extremely well. Are you considering going team?
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a couple different options that you have when you go team. Over the road, if you go over the road, you're going to be making the pay is different. So you're going to be paid 52 cents a mile split rate. Okay. What a split rate is where we pay the truck 52 cents a mile and the two drivers split that. So it's 26 cents per mile per driver. But that's 26 cents per mile regardless of which one of you is driving. So you're making 26 cents per mile for all miles on the truck, regardless of whether you're driving or whether your teammate's driving. Okay. So even when you're sleeping, you're making 26 cents a mile. Okay. That's for over the road. Our team drivers make incredibly good money. That's for over the road. I've got a dedicated account that I can put you on. Right as soon as you're a full team status, we put you on a dedicated account for Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby is going to be paying 60 cents per mile split rate. So it's 30 cents per mile per driver. Again, that's 30 cents per mile for all miles on the truck, regardless of whether you're driving or not. Okay. You're looking at, as over the road, you're looking at somewhere between about 58 to about 62, 63,000 a year per driver. If you go on that Hobby Lobby account, you're probably going to be somewhere between 60 and 70 first year. Okay, per driver. Okay, so we do pay our team drivers very well. And the reason we do is because we know it's a sacrifice. You know, you're stuck in an 8x8 area with another person 24 hours a day. So we do pay our team drivers very well because we know it's a sacrifice. But we got lots of opportunities for you. Okay. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about different work opportunities I've got. A lot of people think that Swift is only an over-the-road company. That's actually not true. We've got a ton of dedicated accounts. A lot of these I can get you home every week. Sometimes a lot of them are actually every weekend. You can be home. Of course, I do always have over the road. If you're interested in that, if you want to see as much of the country as possible, that's the way to go. I was over the road for a good part of my career, my driving career. I started out over the road, then I went on to one of our dedicated accounts for automotive, and then I went back over the road again. Actually, the reason I went over the road had nothing to do with the automotive account. They kept me super busy, so it wasn't because of the automotive account. It was actually because my daughter wanted to come with me for a summer. Automotive only runs in the eastern United States. She wanted to get out west. She was actually born in Arizona, but she was 3 years old when we left Arizona. So she wanted to get out west and see some of Southern California and stuff like that. So over the road, if you want to see as much of the country, that's the worst case scenario as far as the longest you have to be out. The longest you ever have to be out with us is a maximum of 2 weeks at a time. You don't ever have to be out any longer than that. Let's see. Is there a waiting period for a trainer? No, there is not. Actually, we did have a little bit of a waiting time for a while there. We got backed up with students. This is a question from Hudson. We did get backed up with students there for a little while, so there was a bit of a waiting time. But even if there is a waiting time, you're still getting paid. Once you're available and ready for work, you start getting paid at that point. So even if you're sitting at home, you're getting paid. Okay. There was a bit of a waiting time. It's about maybe 6 months ago, because we got really backed up on students and didn't have enough mentors. So, but that's been cleared up. I think I got another text message here from Hudson. Does Swift have local routes home every night? That's something you'll have to talk to Brandon about. I don't know if we've got anything that's home local home every night here in Minneapolis. We may. Okay. If you look at my business card, you're going to see 2 phone numbers on there, 2 names and phone numbers. My name's Scott. That's my cell phone number that's on there. Okay. You're welcome to call me anytime you want, but I will tell you that I'm extremely busy. I'm very difficult to reach. So if you do call me, leave me a voicemail. I will call you back as quickly as I can, but please be patient with me. Okay. Your best bet though is to contact Brandon. Brandon has all different dedicated accounts at his fingertips. He can pull it up on the computer and tell you exactly what's available in this area. So if there is any home daily positions in Minnesota, he would be able to tell you. I will tell you we don't have a single home daily position where we can put you on immediately. You got to have a minimum of 3 months of experience for anything that's home daily, and that's going to be 3 months after your mentor training. So what we'll do is we'll put you on a regional account where you're home at least once a week. For the time being until you get that 3 months in, and then once you have that 3 months, we can put you on a home daily position if there's one available. Okay. I'm actually based out of our New Boston, Michigan terminal, which is just southwest of Detroit, and I wish I had some home daily positions there. I don't have anything home daily. I've got all kinds of people asking me for home daily. I don't have it. Chicago, I definitely do. I just don't know about this area, so check with Brandon. Okay, I got another text message from Hudson. So someone in Hudson asked, can we be out OTR for more than 2 weeks? You absolutely can. You can be out on the road as long as you want to be out there. You don't have to be home every 2 weeks. But you definitely can be home once every 2 weeks if you're over the road. And that's the longest that you have to be out. Anything, and you will never be required to stay out more than 2 weeks at a time. Okay. Another one from Hudson. Okay, so can you switch trainers if it doesn't work between the 2 of you for whatever reason? The answer to that is yes, you can if you have to. Keep in mind that we're all adults. We want you to try and work it out as best you can. But there are people that just flat out don't get along. Okay, there's personality conflicts and things like that, and we try and match you up based on personality whenever possible. Okay. But do your best to work it out. If you can't work it out, if it's just something that does not work, then we will put you with another trainer. Okay. Now, if we put you with a second trainer and you have problems with that trainer, and we put you with a third trainer and you have problems with that one, we're going to start asking, okay, well, wait a minute, now is this the trainers or is this you? Okay, that kind of thing. So, and at that point, we're just going to say, you know what, suck it up, Buttercup. You got to finish this thing. So just deal with it. Okay. But yeah, absolutely. If you have problems with your mentor, we will put you with a different trainer. Okay, I got a question from Hudson saying, what's the average tax percentage taken from the paycheck? I don't know. It's going to be completely up to what your tax situation is. I can't even speak about taxes because I don't know. Everybody's tax situation is different. Okay. So anytime I talk to you about money, it's always in gross terms. I'm not taking taxes out of that because Uncle Sam's going to get his cut regardless. Okay. So, okay. So as far as the over the road, out every 2 weeks, you earn 1 day off for every 6 days out. So if you're out 2 weeks at a time, you earn 2 days off. If you're out 3 weeks at a time, you earn 3 days off. And you can stack up your home time if you want to. Okay, and then take more time off at a time. Okay, so most you have to be out is 2 weeks at a time. There are 2 things that will piss the driver off more than anything. You mess with their money, and you mess with their home time. Drivers will be gone in a heartbeat, start doing stuff like that, and there's a lot of companies that do. I'll give you an example. I had a guy that called me, this is back in like February or March of last year, shortly after I got into recruiting. He called me up and he's trying to make a decision as to whether he was going to go to one of our driving academies or whether he was going to go to school for another company. Well, he wanted to choose this other company, which is no big deal. It's not, everybody has their decisions to make. He chose this other company for whatever reason. Well, he called me back probably like September or October of last year, somewhere right around the fall. He called me back. He's got a CDL now, and he says, Scott, this company promised me they'd have me home once every 2 weeks. It's been 3.5 months since I've seen home. There is flat out no excuse for that. Okay, he's now driving for us, and he's home at least once every 2 weeks. Okay, and he left that company and came to us because he was not going to be out three months at a time. 3.5 months at a time, and I don't blame him. I only missed my home time 2 different times when I was on the road, and both times were completely out of Swiss control. There's nothing they can do about it. Once was because there was an ice storm in the area and I shut down for safety reasons. Because I'm not putting my life or anybody else's life in danger. Okay, so I shut down for safety reasons. Swift is a big company, but we can't control the weather either. Okay. The other time was because somebody rolled their truck over on the highway and the highway was shut down and I ran out of hours of service. Again, completely out of their control. There's nothing they could do. And I still made it home for my home time. I was just a day later than I planned. Okay, so your home time is going to be within your control. So you're going to put your home time request in for whatever day you want to be home, and you're going to put it in for whatever zip code you want to be in. So you don't have to take your home time in Minneapolis if you don't want to. Okay, you can take your home time anywhere in the country. If you want to go take your home time in Southern California and hang out on the beaches in the middle of January, and then call your family back here in Minnesota when they're freezing at 20 degrees below zero with 12 inches of snow coming, and go, I'm getting ready to jump in the ocean, you can do that. Okay. Which, by the way, that's actually fun to do. I lived in Phoenix for 7 years, and I used to call my family, especially the first year. I called them in the middle of January and said, they say, wait, man, it's cold here. It's like 20 below. I said, yeah, it's kind of cold in Phoenix too. I'm getting ready to jump in the pool. Yes.
You said we can work 1 week and 3 days off, or 2 weeks and 6 days off, but you said
no, not 3 days off a week. It's 1 day for every 6 days.
Okay.
So every 6 days you're out, you're in 1 day off.
Okay, and here is really cold weather. When we can work when here is cold only in south?
I get that question a lot, actually. So the question was, for those of you in Hudson that didn't hear, the question was, can you work only in the south during the winter time? I'm sorry to say the answer is absolutely no. Okay, the reason for that is because everybody wants to be out of the snow during the winter time with a truck. Okay, if we let everybody have that, we would have no groceries in Minneapolis. We'd have no building materials here. Stores would be empty. So no, unfortunately, I can't put you on something that's only in the south during the winter time. You will get used to driving in the winter. But like I said, if the roads are bad, pull the truck over. Don't take any chances. Okay. I did that several times, and if there was a big snowstorm coming through the area, I was pulled over before I got to that snowstorm. Okay. Because I was not taking any chances. Okay. So no, unfortunately, you can't be just in the winter just in the south. Unless you're an owner operator, then you can, but you're not going to make it as an owner operator if you're doing that. Okay, you do have that choice. You have that option if you're an owner operator, but you're just not going to make any money. Okay. Okay, I got another question in Hudson. Okay, so the question is, if the trainer takes home time, does the rookie keep driving? No. No, when you're with your mentor has to be there with you in the truck at all times. So most cases, mentors will not be taking home time while they're with the student. That does happen occasionally. I'll give you an example. When I was with my mentor, he actually did have home time set, but that's not typical. Okay. So I actually wound up going home for a couple of days. I live in Michigan. My mentor also lived in Michigan, and during his home time, I actually wound up going home for a couple of days. Okay. That's not typical though. So plan on being out with your mentor for the full 3 to 5 weeks. There's a possibility you can get home, but it's just not likely. Okay. But then your very first load, once you get done with your mentor training and you've tested out, your very first load is going to be to get you back home. So you can spend some time with the family and friends, get your truck packed up, get it comfortable, and then we're going to put you to work as soon as you're done with your home time. Okay. So okay. So over the road. Out for 2 weeks at a time, home for a couple of days, back out for 2 weeks. Like I said, you can stay out as long as you want. I've got different dedicated accounts. I've got a dedicated account for our automotive division. This is based out of my terminal in New Boston, Michigan. It's the terminal I'm based out of. Okay, this is where you'll be picking up preloaded trailers in most cases from southeast Michigan of automotive parts. So you won't be hauling cars, you'll be hauling auto parts. Okay, you'll be taking them to various places around the eastern United States. Check with Brandon and see if Minnesota is still in the hiring area for that. We were, I know, but we had a couple of lanes that were taken away from us, and they gave us a couple other lanes, and those lanes were in Minnesota. So we used to have a Plymouth and a New Hope loads that came out here. So check with Brandon and see if Minnesota is still in the hiring area for automotive. Okay, that one will keep you very busy, and I can get you home every weekend for your reset if you want, as long as that's within the hiring area. That's called automotive or 625. You can call it either one. Brandon will know exactly what you're talking about. Okay. One that I do know that's in this area is for our GLR fleet. GLR stands for Great Lakes Region. This one you're going to be covering Michigan, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Iowa. Okay. Not quite sure how Iowa made it on the Great Lakes region because they're not even on the Great Lakes, but they made the cut, so they're part of it. Okay. This one actually does not pay the standard line haul rates. So that 38 cents to 52 cents is your starting rate. That does not apply to GLR. GLR pays much higher. Your starting rate for GLR is going to be 50 cents a mile. Okay, that's going to be your starting rate. I believe you get a raise once every 3 months on that one for the first while, something like that. Check with Brandon about the raises, but I know it starts at 50 cents per mile, and that's for all miles either empty or loaded. It's a very, very good paying account, and I can put you on that as soon as you're done with your mentor training. Okay, you don't have to have a bunch of experience to get on that. Right now, I've got plenty of space on it. Of course, when it does fill up, it's full, but we got plenty of space on it right now. Okay, so let Brandon know when you talk to him. Let him know that you're interested in GLR, and he'll put you on that fleet. Okay. Okay. So got automotive, got GLR, I got other dedicated accounts. Dedicated accounts are based on wherever you live. I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty new to the Minnesota market. Okay, because I just started traveling out here. I think it was in December, something like that. That's when I started traveling out here, December or January. So as far as dedicated accounts, Brandon knows them all. He's got them right at his fingertips. Okay, so check with him, and he'll be able to tell you exactly what's available in this area. Okay. Okay, any questions about dedicated accounts or home time or anything like that? No, we're good? Yes.
So about like we fast in Ramadan, so like
okay.
It's a fasting month.
Yep.
So about that, regions are different hours. Like if you try to fast, we fast on the sundown.
Sun up, sundown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the hours are like 14 hours, and it's not like it's like 10 hours. Once you drive the car, the truck, there's 10 hours you gotta be rested.
Right.
So it doesn't match, with the schedule of that. So.
Okay. As far as your 10-hour break, that is something you cannot get around. You've got to have that 10-hour break. You're gonna get. I mean, if the things that you do for Ramadan are not don't match that, the federal law is going to stop you. You've got to have that 10-hour break. Okay. There's no way around that.
No, I'm saying not that one. I'm saying like the concept of that is going to be like local, because if you move, then the time is still, the sun is up, so you're going to fast longer than you should.
Yeah, I can't answer for that. I don't know. It's something you're just going to have to work out with your loads. Okay. I definitely understand the Ramadan and that sort of thing. So I get what you're talking about, but I don't know. It's something that you have to work out. Okay. Okay. Any other questions about home time, dedicated accounts, anything like that? You guys have been real easy on me. Actually, I think Hudson is more awake than you guys are. Okay, so let's talk about benefits. Benefits, you're going to be eligible for your medical, dental, and optical. Once you've completed 60 days of employment, you'll be eligible for benefits the first of the next month. So your 60-day clock is going to start ticking at the point of hire. You're going to be hired at the end of orientation. You're going to go out with your mentor. So during the time that you're with your mentor, that 60-day clock is rolling. Okay? Complete that first 60 days, wait for the first of the next month, and you have your benefits at that point. Okay? We have a company matching 401k that you can invest in if you want to. This is where you can put up to 3%, almost at 30%, up to 3% of your earnings into the 401k, and Swift is going to match that dollar for dollar, 100% match, up to the first 3% you put in. Okay, so for every dollar you put in, we're putting in a dollar up to that first 3. Now you can put more than that if you wanted, but we're only matching the first 3. Okay. For those of you who are not putting more money into your future, start doing it now, because I'm telling you what, retirement's going to be. I mean, I've got about 20 more years of work, 25 more years of working before it's time for me to retire. And I'm not going to be able to retire. I don't have enough money saved up, so I'm going to be working until I'm 80, maybe older. Good thing I love my job. 401k is there for you. And we also have a company stock purchase plan where you can purchase stock in Knight Swift Holdings for a discounted rate below what's available to the general public. So as soon as you bought stock, you've already made money on it, as long as the stock market continues doing what it's doing. Great ways to save for the future. Okay. Okay, I got one more thing I want to tell you about, one more big thing, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. Okay. I want to try and be out of here by about noon, if at all. By about 11, sorry, not noon. Okay. Is there anybody in the room or in Hudson that has decided that this is what you want to do for the rest of your life? You want to drive a truck, at least to this point. You're thinking you want to drive a truck for the rest of your life. Okay. Okay. If that's what you chose, you know what? You picked a great industry to get into. There is unlimited potential in this industry. I love the trucking industry. I will be in trucking for the rest of my life. I love this industry. And there's never a shortage of jobs in this industry. Okay, so you picked a great career if that's what you decided to do. Okay, my brother's been driving a truck for 22 years. He will never do anything else the rest of his life. He loves it. Okay. Is there anybody that might want to do something different in the future? Anybody? How about maybe possibly going to college someday? Maybe some of you gone to college already. But no, I guess I got to look at no. What if you could go to college and it wasn't going to cost you anything? Does that make a difference? Yeah. Usually it does. It makes a difference, at least whether you would consider doing it, whether you want to do it now or not. It definitely makes a difference as to whether you consider going. Well, we have a brand new program. It's called Drive for a Degree. What this is where Swift is going to pay 100% of your tuition for you to go to school to get your bachelor's degree if you want to. Okay. It's only for drivers. I have a CDL in my pocket, but I don't qualify for it because I'm not classified as a driver anymore. If they ever open up to office employees, I'm jumping on it in a heartbeat. Okay, so I'd love to be able to finish my degree. So it's 100% tuition paid by Swift. This is going to be through Southern New Hampshire University. Their classes are all online, kind of like University of Phoenix, like that way. For those of you who are not familiar with Southern New Hampshire University, they've been around almost 100 years. I think it started in 1923. So now they do everything online. They don't have any in-seat classes at all. Okay. So we're going to pay 100% of your tuition for you to go to school to get your bachelor's degree. You can get your bachelor's degree in anything you want. Business, communications, business management, accounting, whatever's offered through Southern New Hampshire University, you can get on. Okay. 100% tuition paid. We are also going to provide you with a voucher so that you can purchase a laptop computer on us. That'll be your computer to keep. It's not something that's a company computer like my laptop I have in my bag. That's a company computer. If I leave, I have to turn that in. This is your computer. So we're going to give you a voucher to purchase a laptop. We are also going to pay you a monthly stipend every month for you to be able to pay for your Wi-Fi service. So you have Wi-Fi in your truck and you can do your homework while you're on the road. Okay? All 100% paid by Swift. Does that make a difference for anybody? It does, huh? Yeah. Okay, so let me do one. Let's step it up one better. Okay. How many of you guys got kids that want to go to college? Okay. Usually there's more people that have kids that want to go to college, and I definitely get that. We also pay 100% tuition for one of your dependents to go to school to get their degree as well. Okay. This is also through Southern New Hampshire University. It's where our partnership is with. If they've chosen a different school to go to, there's other things that you can do, but you have to be with us for a while to get on those programs. But we do also offer a scholarship program. That actually, my daughter's got a scholarship through Swift. She's going to Grand Valley. I've only got one kid. I don't have a spare. She's going to college now. And she's actually got the scholarship. She's got a $10,000 scholarship for the next 4 years. Not 10,000 a year, but 10,000 total. Okay. So there's other things you can do, but this program is through Southern New Hampshire University. Now, once you have that degree, now you can go on it yourself, your dependent can go on it, or both of you can go on it. It doesn't matter. It's all up to you. Once you have that degree, does that mean you're stuck with Swift forever and you can never leave because we paid for your degree? Nope. You can take that degree and you can go anywhere you want. You're not locked into us for any length of time. There is one catch. This is a very reasonable catch, and I think you'll agree. Okay? The catch is this. If you want us to continue paying your tuition, you do have to stay with us while you're in school. Now, you're not locked into us. You can leave anytime you want, okay? You're not locked into us, but we're just not going to pay you. We're not going to continue paying your tuition if you decide to leave. And I think that's a reasonable request. Stay with us, and we'll continue paying your tuition. Once you have that degree, you can go anywhere you want. Now, we hope you'll consider using the degree for Swift. There's all kinds of opportunity for this, especially with the terminal right here. We have a terminal only a few miles from you here, okay? So there's all kinds of opportunity that you can live if you once you have that degree, if you want to get into an office position. Okay. So the big question is, how long do you have to be with Swift before you can get on that program? How many of you guys want to take a guess as to how long you got to be with Swift before you can get on? Anybody? 60 days. 60 days? Anybody else want to guess?
Yeah.
60 days?
More, yeah.
Okay. Anybody else want to guess? Okay, that's actually, you're real close. Real close. It's actually 30 days or 10,000 miles before you can get on that program. 30 days or 10,000 miles. So you do not have to be with us forever to get on that. And we will pay for your degree. Okay? So, for those of you who want to go to college, it's a great program. For those of you who don't want to go to college, but have kids that go to the kids that want to go, it's a great program. Okay? One last thing, I'm going to wrap this up. I want to take off my recruiter hat for a minute. I want to talk to you just driver to driver here for a minute. Okay? I want to tell you where I was at when I first started at Swift. Because I'll tell you what, I was an absolute financial mess when I started at Swift. I was in big trouble financially. I'd lost my job in the corporate world. I was unemployed for about 2.5 months. And I had bills piling up. And I went to school for 3 weeks. My family was about 3 weeks away from getting kicked out of our houses. I had no way to pay the rent. Okay, we were gonna be out, my family was going to be out on the streets. Prior to me losing my job, I was working in corporate world. I was making halfway decent money, not great money, but pretty good, you know. And I'm a real outdoors guy. I love the outdoors. So when I was making decent money, I decided to go out and buy a whole bunch of toys. I bought a couple of ATVs. I bought a really nice enclosed trailer to tow them around in. I bought a big motorhome, and I bought a ar and financed it all through my credit union. I was tens of thousands of dollars in debt, probably about $45,000 in debt between those things. By the time I finished my training and I was in my own truck, I was 4.5 months behind on my loan payments. My credit union could have taken everything, and they really should have. With me being that far behind, they should have taken everything. I tell you all that to tell you this. I would not be where I am today financially or professionally if it wasn't for the opportunity Swift provided me. Okay? Today, I have all of the same stuff that I had before. I didn't lose any of it, and I got almost all of it paid for. I got about $3,000 left I own, and everything will be paid for. I would not be where I am today if it wasn't for the opportunity Swift provided me. But it's going to be what you guys make of it. Okay? If you are looking for a company to plant your feet and call home, we're a great company for you because you're going to stay as busy as you want to be, and you're going to be able to make as much money as you can safely and legally make. We will keep you busy. Okay? There's a lot of companies that will promise that, and they can't do it because they don't have the freight. Our drivers do not sit around waiting for freight. You're going to have loads all the time that are going to be offered to you. It's going to be your responsibility to accept those loads, though. Because the load's going to be offered to you, and you can turn it down if you want to, but you're not going to make any money that way. Believe it or not, we've actually had students come directly out of school and immediately start turning down loads, and then they wonder why they're not making any money. Well, of course you're not making any money. You're not accepting the loads. Okay? And in that case, what we'll do is we'll coach you. We're going to teach you how to make money. Okay? We don't want to lose drivers because of something like that. So we'll coach you and teach you how to make the money. Number one is you got to accept the loads. Okay? If you're not accepting the loads, you're not going to make any money. But these students who do this, guess what? They want to believe in Swift. Not because we're forcing them out, but because they choose to leave because they're not making enough money. Well, they think the grass is going to be greener on the other side. That's okay. They'll be back. I can't even tell you the number of drivers that I've hired that were former drivers for Swift that left because they thought the grass was going to be greener on the other side. You've heard that term before, right? The grass is greener on the other side. You know what I found out over the years? The grass is never greener on the other side. The grass is only greener where you water it. Okay? So these drivers wind up coming back, a lot of them, and that's okay. We don't hold it against you if you leave. As long as you stay safe, you've always got an open door with us. Okay? So like I said, it's going to be what you guys make of it, but we've got a place for you if you want it. Now, every company in the country is vying for you guys. They all want you. Well, we want you too. Okay? And you can have a great career with us. Okay? Whatever company you choose, whether it's Swift or anybody else, please just be safe out there. Okay? Be safe. Protect your CDL. I have my CDL in my pocket. I will never give it up. The reason is, first of all, I paid too much money for it. Secondly, I worked too hard to get it. And number three, if anything happens to my job that I'm in right now, I'm going to have companies tripping over themselves to get to me. Because I have a perfect safety record. I've never damaged a piece of property with a truck. I got a perfect safety record. So companies are going to be fighting over me. I'll never be without a job as long as I got a CDL. Same thing goes for you, so protect your CDL, guys. Okay? Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for your time in Hudson, and I appreciate all the questions. If you want to talk to Josh when you get back to, I'll get back to St. Paul. If you want to talk to him, he can give you business cards, and I'll leave some brochures for you guys over there in Hudson if you want to pick them up. Is there anybody in the room that signed? Is everybody signing that's here still? Is there anybody that does not want me to contact you or email you or text you? Because I know there's companies that you're getting hammered by emails and things like that. I don't want to be one of those annoying companies that's bothering you if you're not interested. Everybody okay with me? Interview Brandon Cullen? Okay. Brandon is going to be coming from a 920 area code. So if you see a 920, please pick it up if you're able to. If you can't, he will leave you a voicemail. Please call him back. He works really hard to get you guys placed. Okay, so please call him back if when he leaves you a voicemail. Okay, and we'll get you rolling. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it, everybody.
Quick question. What's the average length of service for your drivers?
For our drivers? Yeah. We get drivers for 20, 25, 30 years.
What's the average?
I don't know what the average is. We have drivers that come and go. And a lot of those drivers can come back. Give you an example, my mentor, it's actually a very good friend of mine, so they can say. He'd been with Swift for 8 years, and he actually had to get out of the truck because he had some medical issues he had to take care of. When he got his medical clearance and DOT back, he decided to go to a different company. He's been with Swift for 8 years, the same company he ever worked for. So he decided to try something different. Well, he wanted to go into a small company based out of Toledo, and an expediting company. Expediting that's the social group to expedite. There's you got the John and spot. It's how you do the low get. Doesn't matter what you sit or not. There you go. I can never do expedite. So he left that pretty quickly. He went to a small company based out of Clare, Michigan. They were paying a pretty good mileage rate. They paid like 58 or 59 cents a mile. He was making about $600 a week because they weren't keeping him busy. So he called me up one day and said, "Hey Scott, this is a business call day. First of all, I want to know what do you got to offer?" So actually, I hired a mentor back. But I probably hired at least a couple of hundred drivers in the last year, a little over a year. They were former drivers of Swift that left and then came back. So do drivers, of course they do. We're a big company. We got somewhere around 17,000 company trucks. We have about 10 or 15,000 owner-operators drive for us. So we got a huge driver pool out there. People, they usually want to come back as long as the door's always open. But we have a lot of drivers who've been with us for decades. And people don't stay at a company like that. We got one driver, he's actually our number one driver in our entire fleet. He's what we call a quadruple diamond driver. So when you get on this bonus plan with diamond, they do a double diamond, triple diamond, quadruple diamond. We only have one driver that's quadruple diamond. He's been with us for like 26 or 27 years. That is serious thing. A lot of our diamond drivers are making almost 9 months. So that's all over the road. No, it's either regional or over the road. Some of them are diamond drivers that are local making that kind of money. I got one driver out of Boston. He's a sole driver, company driver. We're not talking about somebody who's a mentor or anything like that, or an owner-operator. Last year, his income was $143,000 as a company driver solo. Yeah. So $143,000 a year. Now he's been with the company a long time, so it takes a while to get up that and to also his butt off. He works many hours in Boston. He's out there working. He makes $148,000. So excellent money. Yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate the time. What's your name? Jeff. So you okay with me, Jeff Bass? Yeah. Yep. Okay with those 10? Sure. Perfect. Look forward to seeing. Hopefully see you at orientation. Oh, somebody already filled in the top for me. Thank you. Whoever did that. Oh, sure. Absolutely. I don't know. You're going to talk to Brandon about that. I'm going to get one of my business cards, and I'll get one of his pens too. Talk to him. I'm sorry? Yeah, call Brandon. He's actually my field support recruiter. We work as a team, so I do all the traveling for our team, and what he does, he handles all the calls and stuff like that. He's got it all right at his fingertips as far as what's available. I don't know if there's anything local home daily in Minnesota or not. If there is, I can tell you right now, you're going to have a minimum of 3 months experience. We can't put anybody on home daily until they got at least 3 months. And the reason for that, it's actually for your safety, because well, we want to make sure that you can handle that truck before we cast you into the wolves that we call Minneapolis traffic. Because you've driven a car through Minneapolis, have you ever driven a truck through Minneapolis? There's a lot of things you need to know, so we want to make sure you're comfortable with that truck before we put you in home daily. Because you're going to be doing a lot of local driving in the city. So you got to have that 3 months. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Do you mind if I send you an email?
No,
Okay, here, let me ask you to, I wish you could have been in here for the presentation, but,
Yeah, I was doing my test.
oh, okay. If you just give me your name, your email address, and your phone number, and I'll set up, I'll start an application for you and send you a link to complete it. But you'll be looking at making somewhere between 50 and 60K your very first year out with us. You pay our driver extremely well.
¿Cuánto pagan el millaje?
Creo que está caro, pero no sé si ellos no lo alcancé a pero pienso que está entre 37 a 45
Pero
centavos
cuando
por
usted dijo que era 37, 42, pero cuando usted
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Okay. Look forward to seeing you, man. Hey, be safe out there, okay? You too.
¿Cómo le gusta papi?
Pues nada más voy viendo el video. ¿Qué onda aquí? ¿Ya? ¿Ya?
¿Ya viste para salir?
¿Ya lo pasaste? Eso es todo.
¿En cuál va?
¿Ya pasó ya?
¿La inscripción o el
Todo, ya tienes la licencia.
No,
¿Cuánto tiempo duró usted aquí?
pues 2 meses, pero porque me tuvieron como 3, 4 semanas. Como 3 más o menos, 4 que estaba listo, pero no me mandaban para el
Es lo que le digo, mire, a mí apenas ayer me mandaron allá al carrito de golf. Ya venimos para acá, ver quiénes pasaron y quiénes no para el camión. Y que hay cita hasta el otro miércoles. Es una perdedera de tiempo, pero yo quise entrar directo con ellos para que ellos me pagaran el curso y ellos se mandaran a la escuela. Que hasta fines de este mes había yo presenté.
Have a great day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Y no se pudo.
Sí, no, esto lo que pasa aquí, no sé.
Aquí es demasiado lento la cosa.
Sí, no
Y
sé.
luego ya el otro miércoles, dependiendo cómo salgan, me digo, bueno, van a cita hasta dentro de una semana o 2.
Así
Ellos
me
te la
tuvieron.
hacen bien larga. No, mejor buscando trabajo. Yo digo, ahorita voy a trabajar en la Amazon hasta las 10 de la mañana, que bien, ahí vengo de
Yo le decía que iba a dejar mi trabajo porque renuncié por supuestamente que de 4 de mucho 6 semanas.
Es lo que yo le digo a él, yo renuncié en la primera semana de enero, mire que estamos, y como dijo este señor, que él le afectó estar tanto tiempo sin trabajo, imagínense yo voy para 4 meses sin trabajo. No, yo ahorita ando buscando trabajo, dije, pues esto que se espere, porque aquí me dieron mala información cuando yo vine, me dieron una página web y todo que estuviera, todo el mes de enero me la paso estudiando porque yo no sé mucho inglés, lo tengo que traducir y entender. Cuando llego a las licencias, todos los exámenes los reprobé, nada más venía una pregunta de todo lo que vi, y yo le dije al muchacho al otro día, me encabroné y me fui al otro día, regresé, y le digo, ya fíjese que me pasó esto y esto, que le dieron una página web, sí, eso no sirve, me dice, va a ir a esta dirección y le van a vender esto, allá voy, así pasé, pero mientras me eché enero y me eché las 3 semanas de febrero.
Pero es que lo que te dan aquí
No, por eso le digo yo que uno que iba a saber.
es como digo, los libros que te dan unas fotos negras que no se miran ni qué es.
Sí, ajá. Y luego ya vine aquí a preguntar desde allá en México, fui desde que vine de México, fui y pregunté que no, que tenías que llevar el permiso, tenías que elegir un momento a trabajar, no estar perdiendo tiempo. Me metí a trabajar, yo en enero que renuncié, vine aquí en diciembre en una nevada que cayó buena, que dieron una clase gratis. Pues ahí fue donde nos dieron todo eso y a la final de cuentas no sirvió para nada. Perdí todo dinero. Ya en febrero, porque yo dije así como usted, me salgo y dije, no quiero durar más de 3 meses ahí. Pues ya va para el cuarto y todavía no voy ni a la mitad.
No, pues que de mucho 6 semanas, 4 6
¿Sí?
semanas
Y es pura mentira.
y
Mientras uno el curso ya está
o si
pagado.
no te dicen mientras, o si no estás listo, pues no, pero pues uno que estudia, está bien, va a pensarla y todo eso, pues, lo hacen escolar, me hace como 3 semanas.
Y así estaba el otro muchacho, ¿verdad? Que no viene el otro que estaba aquí, ¿cómo se llama? El morenito que me lo llevaba yo a que me...
Oh, ya, sí, ya, ¿qué pasó?
No, pero él también estaba enojado porque dice que lo tenían varios días y que no salía a la cita y que no salía a la cita estaba enojado. Entonces, lo entretienen a
Pero
uno.
hay que ser, bueno, o sea, como él, nosotros que nos preocupamos, nos están pagando.
Pues sí, jodida, es porque a mí no me está pagando nadie.
Él es desesperado porque ya se quería, ya.
Sí, a mí no me está pagando nadie, pero le digo, ya como ahorita voy a ir a la Amazon otra vez.
Pero sí,
¿Usted para quién viene? ¿A mí no le está pagando?
No.
Usted está igual que nosotros, igual el otro chaparrito se está trabajando y él se está pagando su curso. ¿Y ahora para quién va a trabajar?
No, pues no sé, voy a ver. Voy a mirar, a lo mejor no voy para allá, quién sabe.
conviene mejor.
No, le digo que yo iba al McLean, pero desde que me dijeron que uno tiene que cargar y descargar sus camiones, no, dije, porque me va a romper un huevo, mejor me quedo.
Ellos dicen que aquí que entre 50 y 60,000 por año.
No, que 50 y 60, sí, entre 50 y 60.
Primer año. No es lo que yo vengo haciendo por año, estoy en la warehouse. Ahora imagínense los choferes,
Sí.
ganan como 600 o 500 dólares por quincena más que yo. O sea, que estamos hablando que ellos vienen sacando 75.
Sí, es lo que me dijeron a mí,
Pero
que
no,
sacaban de 70 para arriba,
Más que
dependiendo
lo
que
que pasa es que si trabajas de
descargas y cargas.
Sí, porque eso es lo que ven
Descargas
jodido
nada
en
más.
la paga, que cargas y descargas. Pero ustedes que son hombres aguantan. Pero imagínate yo andar cargando leche en jugo, que es lo más pesado que surten a las de esas. Digo yo, no, me hubiera quedado un hueso mejor.
No es
Pero
tanto
sí es
que
cierto.
cargues, sino que los pones en los diablos y los arrastras. Los bajas
Eso es
de
lo
la
que no
rampa.
sé yo cómo funciona, cómo trabaja.
Pero de ahí en fuera, pues es todo.
O sea, no está tan cansado que digamos, órale. Ahorita de verdad está bueno, pero en el invierno está.
Sí,
se pone feo.
eso es lo que yo preguntaba.
Ah,
Ahora
sí,
pregunté,
sí,
porque
sí,
dije yo, si puedo uno irse en el invierno por allá por el sur, me quedo por allá por California y ahí se ven. Pero no se puede.
Bueno,
Bueno, oiga.
¿Ya tienes la cita? No. Porque ya lo pasaste todo.
Ya vengo.
Ok.